Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. Okay, so this is specifically for my cousin Chrissy in Boston. So, good morning. Sunday morning, tea still asleep. Hey, if you are in the Midwest and you haven't been paying attention to the sunrises and the sunsets, especially the sunrise, check it out because the sandstorm from the Sahara has been coming in. So the sunrises and sunsets are pink and gold. It is really amazing. So happy Sunday. And most of the time on Sunday, we talk about kind of a bigger picture idea than we do so much about a specific practical tool or concept. So the bigger picture idea that I'm going to give you today, and maybe tomorrow as I was thinking about this as I was preparing my coffee, is a call to action. So the word desire, what does that word mean? Well, we know that it means to long for something, to yearn for something, to want something. But there's also an interpretation of the original Latin that says desire means something along the lines of the Father, meaning almost a heavenly gift. So that the idea being, if you desire something, then you're given the qualities in order to go achieve that desire. How are we talking about that? So if you have a feeling that you want to accomplish a certain financial task, if you have a feeling that you want to accomplish a certain level of intimacy with your partner, of relationship with your kids, if you have that desire, then part of the origin of that word is you then come with the tools and abilities already embedded in you in order to accomplish that task. I think that is just a wonderful belief to have, that if you feel like you want something in your life, the tools in order to do that are already there. You just got to go find them. Meaning the ability is already there. I guess I shouldn't say tools. I should say that the ability to go achieve that outcome is already there. You just got to go find maybe some tools. Maybe you got to mirror somebody else. Maybe you got to learn a technology. Maybe you got to learn a system. But if you have the comparable desire, you have the ability to go achieve that. That means if you've been watching these videos, if you've been participating in the Tony Robbins Comeback Challenge, if you read self-help books, then you have an obligation to go take on those roles and to help the world. I mean, to me, when I had a child, that meant that I took on the obligations that I was going to be there for her financially, emotionally, in every way possible, that I took on those burdens. And they weren't burdens, right? They're blessings. I mean, it was a wonderful thing. So if you're watching these videos, my message to you today is that means you got to go do something with it. And that something is entirely up to you. But if you have the desire to study this stuff, then you have to go take that and go try to help the world. The world is in an extreme upheaval right now, right? Every now and then there's a little bit of a revolution, and we're going through one right now. It's winter economically, and it's also winter socially. A lot of things are changing. When that happens, what does the world need? Well, it needs leadership. And we hear that word a lot, and tomorrow, that's the word that we're going to talk about, and that's what I was just thinking, is leadership. So for your homework today, I'm going to ask you, think to yourself, what does that word mean? What does leadership mean? And I think you're going to find that that's a much more difficult word to define than you think. We all have this idea in our head as to what it means. But that if you actually sit down and try to write down a definition or even find a definition of leadership, that's going to be a little bit more difficult. But you are also going to find that there's more books written on that topic than almost anything else. So it's an ethereal idea that's difficult to grasp. But it's certainly what the world needs right now. So my message today is simple. This is a call to action. If you've watched these videos, if you're interested in this, use it. If you have a desire for something in your life, whatever that is, or you have a desire to impact the lives of others in a given way, then you've been given the gift to go do that, and it's your obligation to go do that. Wonderful motivational speaker, I've mentioned him before, named Les Brown, who talks about it this way. All of us are given a certain couple of gifts to use for the world. And he says, imagine that you're on your deathbed and you've never utilized those gifts. And they're standing around you on your deathbed looking at you saying, we were given to you. We're great gifts to the world and we were given to you, and it was your obligation to go use us and show the world these gifts, and you let us down and didn't do it. And now we are going to die with you. We all have a certain number of gifts that we have to share with the world, whatever that is. And it can be something incredibly simple, but that incredibly simple thing can be the thing that changes the world. You know, maybe it's just an ability to sing. Maybe it's an ability to write music. Maybe it's an ability to write poetry. Is there a book that's in your head that has been in your head forever that you've not taken the time to go write? It's much easier to publish a book now than it ever used to be. I mean, all you got to do is pick up this phone and you can start talking and you can start sharing your gifts with the world, whatever that might be. So my call to action today is desire of the Father. So that means if you desire something, you've been given the gifts to go achieve it. So go achieve it. The technologies are there. The disruption that's going on in the world is creating all the opportunity in the world to change how you want to do things and to change the way things are going to be accomplished. It's a time that the world needs leaders, and it needs people who are going to positively impact the world to step up and do that. If you're watching this stuff, then you're one of those people. If you've been watching anything that I've been saying or anything that Tony Robbins has been saying in the Breakthrough Challenge, or you watch if you read self-help books, if you watch any of the YouTube videos of guys like Les Brown or any of these other motivational speakers, then you're one of those people. And maybe you only go impact one person or 7 people, but that can make all the difference in the world. It certainly can make all the difference in your community. So take this knowledge, take this desire, and go do something with it. Lay out a plan today of what it is that you're in fact going to go do in order to show the world your gifts, whatever that gift may be. And then tomorrow, we're going to talk about leadership. And between now and then, I would invite you, try to write down a definition of what leadership is. If you want, share it so that we can all start talking about it. Because I'll tell you, I think you're going to find it's a little bit more difficult to define than what we all have in our head. We all have this idea, but it's hard to go figure out. Take that desire and those gifts and show them to the world. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other. Have a great Sunday.